Howdy folks, Greyhawk 4x4 coming at you again, your resident vintage gamer, and today we're going to have a gaming vlog. Got a lot of stuff to talk about. The main thing is that Wizards of the Coast has announced a couple days ago, they announced the next product for 5th edition, and it's going to be called Ghosts of Saltmarsh, and I'm going to go into it a little bit more here in a minute about what that means, historically speaking. And we're also going to talk about their online magazine that it's called Dragon Plus. It's a takeoff on the old Dragon magazine, which used to be in print, but now it's only electronic, and they call it Dragon Plus. We'll talk a little bit about that and a couple other little tidbits. So let's get started. So Ghost of Saltmarsh. If you are a 5th edition fan, you will be interested to know that's the next, if you haven't already heard, that's the next product that they have announced. And it's coming out, I believe, May 21st is the date. I've already got my pre-order in at my local game shop. And there will be a special edition cover that you can only get through the game stores. That's what I've pre-ordered. And what that does is that helps the local game stores with trying to compete with Amazon, because they can't compete with the regular cover price for the regular tome. However, Wizards helps them out by giving them an exclusive with the special edition covers, with the extra really nice artwork and so forth, and then you can only get that through your game store. So that helps drive sales to the local game stores. And then of course the game stores are hoping that while you're in there you might buy some figures, and then you got to paint the figures, so you might buy some paint, etc., etc., which it's all a good thing, So anyway, you can do the Google thing and find the pictures and all that stuff, because as I've said before, I don't do any editing until YouTube decides they want that my content is worth them giving me some monetization. I ain't doing any editing or any of that fancy shit. I'm just going to tell you what I know, and you guys can do the Google foo and go find your pictures and all that other stuff. So anyway, that is the product. And what I wanted to talk about was the connection to 1st edition. Let me get this other thing out of the way here. We're going to talk about this in a minute. So Saltmarsh, again, just like they've done with other products, Saltmarsh is from the world of Greyhawk. And as you know, obviously, with my handle being Greyhawk 4x4, that is my favorite fantasy setting. And what they're probably doing in the new module that they're releasing, the Ghost of Saltmarsh, is, my guess is they're rehashing this stuff. Now this is the sinister secret of Saltmarsh, and we'll cover up the old address there. And this is Dungeon Module U1, and the U was because they were done in the United Kingdom, so they named them U for United Kingdom. And this was one of the very first entry-level dungeons that a lot of players went through back in the day. So this is probably considered 2nd edition, but a lot of people play these with using 1st edition rules. You could do it with either; didn't really matter. The second one was this one, Danger at Dunwater. That was the sequel. And then finally, the third was called The Final Enemy. And as you can see, they all have a nautical theme. So the new product, the Ghosts of Saltmarsh, is probably going to be rehashing these stories right here into one book, kind of like they did with Storm King's Thunder, which was actually taken from the Giant series from first edition. They're doing the same type of thing, but they're doing the Saltmarsh story, basically. That's a good thing, because these are considered classics. They are considered, if there's a Hall of Fame for modules, the Saltmarsh series certainly belongs there. So that is something to look forward to. And it's just around the corner. They're releasing it in May. So get your pre-orders in and so forth. To go along with that, if you're not already aware, Wizards of the Coast has what they call Dragon Plus. And Dragon Plus is as I said previously, it is the digital magazine that replaced the print Dragon magazine, what used to be called Dragon magazine. And it's free. So you can just get the app from wherever you get your app, whether it's Android or Apple, and you can download each issue. They're up to issue 24 now. You can download, and all the previous ones, you can download those to your phone or your tablet or whatever. You can also just go to the website and read them from your old-fashioned PC here at the table. And they're primarily, I'll say that they are the premium platform for them to promote their own products, obviously. However, a lot of the articles and content that are in there are quite in-depth and enlightening and helpful. So, for instance, the reason I'm bringing this up now is they obviously coincided the newest issue of Dragon Plus with their announcement of the Ghosts of Saltmarsh, and they cover that in there. But they also have a really well done article about the world of Greyhawk. And the timing was perfect because they're obviously taking this from Greyhawk and putting it into 5th edition. However, it's not technically in the world of Greyhawk. It's in, it's probably going to be in Forgotten Realms, which is their default world for 5th edition. But the Greyhawk piece, the what do you call it? For loss of words, the article. The article that's in there is by Luke Gygax and another gentleman whose name I've never heard before. But there's the two of them that wrote the article, and it's extremely well done. It goes through a lot of the history of the world of Greyhawk in a very condensed version so that it's easily digestible, but still goes into enough detail to really satiate your appetite if you really want to know more about Greyhawk. Luke goes in and does a little sidebar piece about his character, Melf, that was his first, I believe it was his first character, and of course his dad was DMing back in the day, Mr. Gary Gygax, and he talks about how Luke, created a couple of spells, which are still in, if you go back and look at 1st, 2nd edition, etc. And I have not looked for 5th edition to see if these spells are still in there, but there's Melf's Acid Arrow, and there's one other one that he created, and he goes into why and how he came up with the ideas and all that type of stuff. So it's a very good piece, and I highly recommend that it's free. So when you're sitting at the doctor's office or something, you can just download it and read it on your tablet or your phone or whatever, and what the heck, it's good stuff. So anyway, so that we can segue that into our 5th edition campaign that we're doing back here, which is a homebrew campaign, which the DM Jonathan is leading the charge with. And in our most recent episode, we were in this spire that turns out to be a very magical spire because none of the dimensions inside the spire match up with what we saw from the outside. I mean, rooms go on, and hallways go on and on for yards, where would not make any sense for the type of spire that we saw, but of course it's magical. And it culminated when we got to the top, and there was a ziggurat at the very top. We walk into this huge room that actually has a ziggurat inside, which, for those that may not know, a ziggurat is basically a pyramid, like the old Egyptian pyramids, but it has very defined steps that go up and square off about every 15 feet. You have a step up. So kind of like the old Aztec pyramids, and so they're called a ziggurat. And so bottom line is that we have to get up to the top, and we see that there is the prince that we've been sent to find. He's up there, and he is with this giant mirror thing, and then there's another guy that's with him who happens to be a doppelganger for one of the people in our party who we've previously already rescued. And we're deciding, it's the classic conundrum of, well, which one's the real guy? You know, the guy that's with us, or is he a spy and he's just been spying on us? Or is it that guy up there who the prince thinks is his ally, but yet maybe he's the spy and he's getting ready to stab the prince in the back? And so we're trying to figure out which one's which. And the guy in our party didn't convince us enough that he was the real guy, and we started fighting him. And much to the DM's dismay, I don't think he expected it to go that way. But nevertheless, the guy in our party was the real guy. The guy at the top is the doppelganger. And so bottom line is, we all make it up there, and this creature, comes out, and we have to fight this monster thing. And so the doppelganger is also, he's up there, and he's been outed. We now know he's the doppelganger, but yet he's fighting this creature too. So that the creature and him are not necessarily on the same side. And the bottom line is, at some point, he bolts. The doppelganger tries to get away. The monster, I've already been knocked. My character, my monk, has already been knocked unconscious. And in 5th edition, of course, you got to do these death save things. Luckily for me, on my very first one, I roll a natural 20. And I did not know, but when you roll a natural 20 on your death save in 5th edition, that means you stand back up. You've got 1 hit point. You're back up on your feet. You're back in the fight. And it was just the perfect timing that this creature had moved to where I could have an attack of opportunity. And so I attack it, and I get the killing blow. Basically, it's running past me, and I chop its head off or whatever. And then on my next turn, I don't remember how it all went, but the bottom line is I had an opportunity to the guy that's trying to get away, the doppelganger, because I'm a monk. I decided I wanted to try and do an acrobatic move and jump down to him like somersault, and then in a real cool bitchin' manner, somersault and basically with my scimitar just stab the shit out of him as I fall on top of him. But I didn't make that roll. So matter of fact, I may or may not have rolled a 1. I can't remember. And so I failed miserably at that. But nevertheless he got away. The doppelganger did get away, unfortunately. But we were victorious in killing the creature, and then talking to the prince and deciding, do we want to open this portal, this gate, through the mirror? Do we want to destroy it? Whatnot? And a member of our party decided to open the gate. And that's where we stopped for the night. So I was this close to doing a really cool frickin' thing, man. I mean, I kill this thing. I jump up out of a coma and kill this damn creature, and then here I am going to somersault off and then land and spear this dude getting away. How cool would that have been if I had succeeded with that shit? Damn it. This close. Story of my life. Anyway, that's how our 5th edition, that's how our 5th edition thing ended last time. So I thought you guys might get a kick out of that little story. But anyway, a couple other quick things to talk to you guys about before I let you go. Number one, I thought you guys might like this. This guy right here, this cool box here, and I'm going to open it up for you. Looks like that on the inside. My wife, for Christmas, got me, because I switched to tea. My stomach, as you get older, you find things out about yourself. Coffee was too hard on my stomach at this point, so I switched to tea. And tea is my stomach likes tea a lot better than it does coffee. And I actually like you can get all these different flavors and everything, so I'm enjoying the tea. And for Christmas, she got me this tea assortment. You can get this at Bed Bath & Beyond. And what reason I'm telling you guys this is, obviously, I have repurposed. Because it comes with 6 slots. With 6 different teas in it when you get it. But, of course, they're all gone now. And I repurposed it as a dice box. Because that's perfect with 6 slots for a 20-sided, a 12-sided, a 10-sided, an 8-sided, a 6-sided, and a 4-sided. Ta-da! And the whole thing, box and all the tea, and I think there was like 32 tea bags or something like that in there, or maybe more. I can't remember. $20 out the door. And this is that's a nice box. It's got felt on the bottom. It's got felt inside with all the dividers and everything. I just thought you guys might, as a little gamer hack, as they call it life hacks. There's a gamer hack for you if you want a really nice dice box. It's just going to stay on the table here. This wouldn't be my traveling dice box. Mind you, that's too many dice. But for my game den here, that's perfect. So, and then the last thing I wanted to show you was, if you don't get to go to GaryCon, I've gotten to go twice. They have now made it so you can order these things. This is a set of, it's called Roll with Gary. It's a dice set. The official dice of GaryCon. And you can order these now. And they look like the old school dice that we would get back in the day. Same type of material and everything. They're great big numbers on them and everything. But the high roll on each one is, so like for the D20 here, there's your natural 20 right there, and it is the GaryCon logo. Let's see if we can get that to focus on it. There we go. Hang on. It's a pain sometimes to get cameras to focus. Anyway, you get the idea. I really wish that would focus, but it doesn't want to. So, there it goes. That's as close as I can get it, I guess. So anyway, it has the GaryCon logo. So, like, there's the 8-sided. So, anyway, they were with shipping. It was like $18 or something like that, which is probably overpriced for a set of dice, but these are pretty damn cool. So, if you don't get to go to GaryCon and you want a set of dice, you can always order these. So, just go to the GaryCon website. You guys can do your Google foo. And that's it. We're going on a 20-minute video here. So, recap. 5th edition, Ghost of Saltmarsh. May 21st, I believe it is. Dragon Plus, if you want to read those cool articles and stuff. I showed you the background information. The dice box hack from Bath and Body Works. They're all over the place, so I'm sure you got one near you. GaryCon dice, and our 5th edition wrap up. So, that's it, guys. We will. Oh, one last thing. Let's see how many people watch till the end. This will be the last time you probably see the beard for this season. Spring's coming, it's warming up. Probably be cutting this off. But I outlasted Jack Black. If you're watching that damn Jablinski games, I still think mine was a better beard. and he had to cut his first. Of course, he had a better reason. You know, he's filming Jumanji 2 and probably making millions of dollars in the process. You know, I'm just doing it because I'm going to get hot in springtime. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll catch you guys on the flip side.